Mohenjo-daro to the beautiful Himalayas, Pakistan is one of the most favorite destinations for all the tourists around the world. Pakistan is known as the land of four seasons, and a lot of people come here to enjoy each and every weather. We have culture, we have heritage, we have ancient ruins, and we have nature. But because of 2001 and because of war on terror, we lost a lot of majority of our tourists. But now Pakistan is back at it again, rising from the ashes. And here we are at Discover Pakistan. Serena Hotels, in collaboration with its stakeholders, is hosting the first National Tourism Conference. This conference is one of its kind and is not going to be a standalone event. Since the 70 years of independence, we are still discovering Pakistan. It's time we now highlight it because this is where culture meets nature. Let's see what this conference is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now here with the man behind the scene, Mr. Aziz Bulani, who is the CEO of Serena Hotels. Mr. Aziz Bulani, this has been a great initiative and I love this stage, as I've been saying it to you. What made you, what influenced you to, come up with this idea?
Many a times internally we have been discussing that time has come that where we should support the government, we should support the people of Pakistan, because this country is full of natural resources and other resources. Pakistan has a lot of heritage and culture, and very rich culture. And if you look at the tourism assets, we have right from old civilization to the mountains to the rivers. So why not do something rather than wait for someone to do it? And we felt that why not do something where you bring all the tourism stakeholders on the same platform and fresh out and find ways and means, rather than only talking about the challenges and the problems, come up with the solutions. And I'm happy to say that this conference, it was not only blame game, but it had really set the direction, and this is the beginning, and the idea is to continue this journey. And I'm quite hopeful that inshallah you will see that it's not in the short term, definitely in the longer run, because this country is full of riches. People are very engage with the government, be it federal or the provincial government, to build basic infrastructure, meaning road network, railway network, air network, and these basic facilities, so that people understand that with these facilities available, I can take my family, I can go as an individual, I can take my friends, my relatives. So it will have a compounding effect.
So Serena has been here for a long time. Why was this taken now? What made it so prompt?
It's never too late to do. And we were thinking about it, but now mashallah things are getting better and better in terms of the security, and life must continue. We can't simply say that it cannot be done. It will be done. It has to be done, and that encouraged us to do it. Otherwise we would have said, okay, just do the routine work.
Okay, so I also asked this previously. Is this a one-time show? Is this, or what is the future of it? What do you see?
We have discussed among ourselves, among all the stakeholders, that it has to be continuous. If it's not continuous, then it will defeat the purpose. The outcome from this conference will be to form a group of the representative of all the stakeholders of tourism industry, and then let those industry representatives take and then resolve the issue or suggest these are the things and this is how one can work it out. There might be some incentives which government needs to announce, and maybe this is the appropriate time that budget is will be announced next month, so they can incorporate certain incentive, because no investor will invest in an area where the returns are negligible or the risks are high and the returns are low when you have other investments available.
So after the first National Tourism Conference, what is your message to everybody? Internationally, nationally, whatever.
My message is very simple, that one has to be optimistic. Be optimistic. Pakistan is beautiful, people are hospitable. We should take pride in promoting our country and change the perception of the outsiders, unfortunately, which is not true, and give them the right, I'm not saying that soft image of Pakistan, but the right image of Pakistan, where people are liberal, they mean well, they are hospitable, they are very intelligent, and particularly our young generation. And one has to see it in a broader perspective, and with optimism they should see that this country will flourish. There is no other way out.
Best of luck with this initiative, and we're always there to support this cause.
Thank you.
And it's an amazing idea. Thank you so much.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Secretary of Tourism of Gilgit-Baltistan, Mr. Raja Rashid Ali. Sir, you gave an amazing speech. It was outstanding. And since Gilgit-Baltistan is the hub of beauty in Pakistan, what would you say about that?
Yeah, definitely. It was unexplored for a long time, but it was very much explored by the foreigners. But the Pakistanis didn't know about that for a long time. But now, thanks that channels like yours and other channels, they are promoting it. And above all, Mustansir Hussain Tarad has written more than a dozen of books. So it is very much known to all people, and I don't need that much to say.
So, this was the first National Tourism Conference. What would you say about this initiative?
Yeah, thanks to Serena Hotels and especially Mr. Aziz Bolani that he has taken this great initiative. I think more and more conferences need to be conducted and held like that, like this conference. But this conference, I hope that it has on the one way identified the issues and also generated some possible solutions. And at the same time, it has also highlighted some challenges regarding tourism.
How do you think government can help us do this? Because right now we don't see much participation from that side.
Well, government has got different tiers, As my part, I represent Gilgit-Baltistan. Gilgit-Baltistan Tourism Department is working very much hard in terms of facilitating tourism. We are working in partnership both with this Serena Hotel. It is basically a subsidiary organization of the Afghan Development Network, and then the other private agencies like Ahuat, like the Private Hotel Association, tour operators, Hashu Foundation. So the tourism department is working with them so that we can explore, bring more sophisticated and professional expertise, and then accordingly what the government can do, I think we are doing in many ways.
And lastly, I would want you to give a message to the international and national audience for Gilgit-Baltistan to how to visit it and anything.
Well, for foreign tourists, my message is that Gilgit-Baltistan is open, the people are very good, they are friendly, there is no issue of and there is no any problem, and then we are also developing to make their stay good and healthy and comfortable. For the national tourism stalwarts or enthusiasts, my message would be that this country is your country, and at the same time Gilgit-Baltistan is also part of this country, is your area. It has got many things. It has got culture, it has got heritage, it has got exploration, it has got languages, it has got expedition. So do come to Gilgit-Baltistan, see your country, and then definitely you would enjoy it.
Thank you so much, guys. It's a must to go to Gilgit-Baltistan and visit it once, because that's where nature lies. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sir, for giving us time. And can you please tell us about this conference and why it is so important to have such dialogues in Pakistan?
Tourism has a great potential in Pakistan. There's currently a good amount of tourism, but it could be so much more. And Pakistan has so much to offer in terms of wonderful mountains, oceans, glaciers, but also historic and religious sites. And now is the time to make good use of them.
And you also talk about the youth, and you also talk about how this can, be very beneficial for our economy. Can you please elaborate on that?
I think it's very important that as Pakistan develops its sites, that it does so in an inclusive manner, so that it creates jobs for the local communities and involves as many people, including women, as possible, so that it's not just about foreign dollars, but it's about jobs and opportunities for Pakistanis.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the High Commissioner of Australia, Mrs. Margaret Adamson. Ms. Margaret, I would like to ask you, how do you see the future of Pakistan's tourism?
Well, I think that there is tremendous potential for tourism in Pakistan, as we have just been hearing at the commencement of this very well-timed conference and very well attended. I think it's a very good initiative on the part of the Serena Hotels, and we see a very strong participation of the tourism sector in terms of the private sector within Pakistan. And we hear some very good points being made by UNESCO, being made by the World Bank, but also critically by the private sector, who understand how to drive the tourism sector forward. My country is a country that relies very heavily on tourism in terms of our national revenues, and so we well understand how important it is for all of our countries to seek to build this pillar within our economies. But as we have heard, this year is the year of sustainable tourism, so the very, very critical points there are sustainability, inclusivity, and of course all those issues to do with respect for the environment and celebrating and respecting our history.
And what would you say about this initiative that has been taken by Serena Hotels and Mr. Aziz Bolani? How do you think it's going to help in bringing sustainability in tourism?
Well, I think that, as I said before, this is a very timely initiative, and I very, very much commend and congratulate Mr. Aziz Bolani for taking the initiative, and I welcome the very high-level participation in the conference. So, as we have been hearing this morning, we don't just see this as a one-off event. I'm certainly anticipating this will become part of a journey for Pakistan in moving forward with a successful, sustainable and inclusive tourism sector. Not only in terms of the international tourism, but very critically, of course, mobilizing the domestic tourism sector.
And lastly, I would like to know what are your views on the line which says economy is based on tourism. Do you believe in that?
Well, I believe that an economy, of course, has many pillars, but tourism, as we hear from not only the statistics, but I mean intuitively we understand that, because it is a cross-cutting. It touches all of us, and it can, of course, create jobs at the micro level, the small and medium-sized enterprises. Very, very important for communities, because communities are stakeholders in their local history, in their local environment. So we find that in Australia also with our own natural wonders, but also with our indigenous communities, and also the enormous range of multiculturalism that Australia has to offer. So I think that it is a cross-cutting, it is inclusive, and we see there also a very important role for women in terms of their opportunities to be part of this journey. And very, very important point to reference here is, of course, that successful and sustainable tourism is going to ensure that what we enjoy today is here for tomorrow, for future generations.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
So we have with us right now Mr. Nafis Zakria. Is that correct? Okay. So can you please elaborate on the importance of tourism industry in Pakistan and why it is so viable and so important for us to give this economic boost in tourism industry?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In fact, Pakistan has huge potential in the sector of tourism. Tourism is important from the point of view that it actually not has a direct impact on the economy of the country, but it also brings along the people from various walks of life from different parts of the world, and that also allows people to get to know the culture of other countries and people from other countries to get to the culture of Pakistan. So it's not just about tourism. Tourism it has many aspects related to it, and then there are different types of tourism in Pakistan. There is a huge potential for tourism. Those who are the students of history, for example, we host a number of ancient sites, and we have been accredited of ancient civilization. So I have seen people, those who are the historians, those who teach in the universities across the world, in different part of the world, the civilizations, and then those who want to just go for sightseeing. So we have beautiful spots in the world. In Pakistan, we have beautiful lakes. Then when it comes to mountaineering, trekking, again it holds a huge potential for those who are interested in mountaineering trekking. And we are blessed by the grace of Allah that among 20 highest peaks in the world, we host 8 out of them. I think it's a great blessing, a great honor for Pakistan. We host the second highest mountain in the world, K2. So I believe that it has huge potential. It brings not only the cultural values, but also in economic sense, it also brings prosperity for the people who live in those areas, beautiful areas. The one very encouraging aspect which I have actually come to realize is that the domestic tourism has increased manifold. It used to be not more than 200,000 people from within Pakistan coming to visiting these northern areas, but now I have come to know that the figure has crossed 3 million, and mostly youngsters, the young people, young couples, families, they prefer to visit and explore Pakistan, the northern areas of Pakistan, the internal areas of Pakistan. I think this is a very encouraging thing, and I believe that this is the right time. This conference is being held at a very opportune time because Pakistan, the security situation in Pakistan has improved tremendously, which the manifestation of which is that our economic indicators have really increased, have actually improved quite a lot, that Pakistan is now counted among the emerging economies, and the houses, economic houses, no other than Bloomberg and Moody and all these economic houses, they are rating Pakistan very high. So I think this is a very good time, and Serena has taken a very good step in the right direction at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So today we have with us Miss Amna Malik, who is the president of Koche Foundation. She is also a women activist, and she is part of the ruling party of Pakistan right now, and she's working diligently to improve the status of women in our society. But let's take her point of view about what the tourism is all about in Pakistan and why it is so important that the tourism industry in Pakistan should flourish. Miss Amna.
Thank you very much, Fire, and I would like first of all to greet and congratulate the management of Serena Hotels, because I believe that Serena Hotels always play a very positive role for any kind of contribution for Pakistan. Why tourism is important? I believe tourism is going to be one of the very important industry in Pakistan. People would like to explore and know more about tourism, and tourism is not only that people just come and visit the sites. There are other parts of tourism which can be explored in Pakistan. Pakistan. Like we are having brilliant doctors, so we can explore the medical tourism, then sports tourism. You see that like PSL has started, then there is another PWE for the wrestlers has started, so that we can improve and get different kind of flavors of Pakistan. So I believe that this conference is very important and to explore and highlight the all categories of tourism in Pakistan.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, another thing is that how do you think that the youth can be incorporated in this entire industry? As you can see, a lot of young entrepreneurs have started opening up their own companies, and they take, they take people on tours and everything. How do you think we should engage the youth more?
I would like to suggest in the taking the liberty of this interview that youth and women can contribute and they can earn from this tourism. We developed a concept of e-tourism, like a woman sitting at home in Gilgit-Baltistan, and she can highlight the best areas, and she can link with the tourist operators and the Tourism Development Corporation sites, and she can start a business and get her own facilitation fee for identifying a client. So in similar manner, youth and women can also play a role, and it is going to be one of the good business. So I believe that it can give more earnings to the people. Then cultural tourism can highlight the cultural artisan product of Pakistan. So there are many opportunities for youth and women if we work on the e-tourism concept. We already have negotiated with Pakistan Tourism Development Corporation of Pakistan, and we suggested them that e-tourism is something which is a service and which is very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving a lovely interview. So today we have from UNESCO Weepika Jensen, who's been working diligently in the preservation system. As you know, that UNESCO is a very important part who plays, preserving our heritage and ruined sites. So let's take her point of view about tourism industry in Pakistan.
So as you rightly said, Pakistan has amazing cultural and natural heritage. Some very, very unique sites which are also on the World Heritage List. Currently we have 6 sites listed, but there is a long list of tentative sites that will have to be analyzed and submitted for the World Heritage Committee to decide on. So there is really big potential for Pakistan to develop cultural tourism as well as natural tourism to some of your very beautiful natural parks. However, it has to go hand in hand with a protection policy, a management policy and strategy for the sites, whether they are natural or cultural. Because tourists are good, they leave money behind usually. If handled correctly, they can be very good for the local community and help improve livelihoods. But if we don't have the management policies, things can quickly get destroyed. And then, in fact, we are exhausting the resource we have. So from UNESCO side, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of having these management and protection policies in place so we can better manage the tourism flow. It also comes with education of the tourist. They need to know how to behave around these sites. But otherwise, of course, we want to share our heritage, and it's important to invite tourists in. As I said, it just has to go hand in hand with the protection management policies.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Sidra Iqbal, who's moderating this conference. So, Sidra, you're doing a great job, and since you've been, in the discussions which were held before this, I would want to know what importance do you think this initiative holds?
Well, I personally think if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. What I really like about this forum is that it's not playing a blame game. It has gotten all the industry stakeholders together, all the people who can directly or indirectly benefit from tourism, and not just benefit. I mean, they're thinking in terms of the larger context. What role, what positioning does Pakistan have as a country, as a destination for the global citizens? So I feel that this is definitely a forum of substance, and what I'm really liking is the fact that they're just not problem oriented, they're just not pointing out the challenges. In fact, they're trying to come together, synergize, and create an environment where there can be solutions to these problems. And the problems are multi-layered, there are challenges, nobody's denying that, but the good part is to come up with strategies to areas where they can be addressed.
Do you think this is going to be a standalone event?
I do not believe so, and I certainly don't hope so, because I believe that even to get to this juncture, there has been a series of consultations, there has been a process, getting people together to highlight the key issues, coming up with areas that are most relevant to this theme. So I certainly do believe that all this good work should not go to waste. In fact, it should come together as suggestions, as a working paper, and hopefully my aspiration would be to see it as a forum, a public-private partnership forum that is really a strong group of advocacy for this subject.
Being a Pakistani yourself, what would you say about the tourism of Pakistan? Like, what about the areas? And since you've been traveling, so what would you say about that?
Well, I think as a Pakistani, it brings me immense pride that this country, or the place that we now call Pakistan, has had such deep roots when it comes to history and culture. But when it comes to promoting Pakistan, I feel that we sometimes lose the plot between just propagating about the historical sites that we have. I think we need to come back to present Pakistan. Even in the present day Pakistan, there's so much that the world needs to know. So I think very aptly this forum is called Discover Pakistan. This is the 70th year of Pakistan's existence, and we're only just discovering its beauty.
Thank you so much, Sidra.
Thank you so much, sir, for having us. Can you please elaborate on why is it important in Pakistan to promote tourism?
But tourism in Pakistan, you have the hardware in Pakistan, which is one of the beautiful countries in the world. Mountains, the lands, the sea, that is called the hardware. And we have to put people together, the people of Pakistan, various sectors, the government people, the private sector, to work together on a very big program, which is to discover Pakistan. The title is absolutely the best you can find, because you have to discover Pakistan. People of Pakistan to start with, and people coming from abroad. There is so much to see, so much to enjoy. I love tourism. I am a trekker, and believe me, I enjoy the beauty of your country, because I trek every week in the Margalas. And that's a small scale, of course. Can you imagine a bigger scale? For families, for single, for couples, for all people of all kinds of walks. And there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, but we have to do it together. Not one, not two, but dozens of people of different industries. Traveling industry, remember, is the biggest industry in the world. Not hotel industry, the traveling industry, airplanes, trains, boats, travel agents, hotels, that is called the traveling industry. It's the biggest industry in the world, which is very comforting. And we belong to that. It means we have to make it happen, and it will happen. I'm very confident.
Thank you so much, sir.